Hey guys, Final Death Star here, and today we're talking Lucasfilm licking their wounds but not halting on Star Wars development. This article is coming from HOLLYWOODREPORTER.com, and it says the box office returns of Solo: A Star Wars Story are a wake-up call for the studio to make and market upcoming films differently, sources say. Disney and Lucasfilm are reassessing their plans for the future Star Wars movies in the wake of the disappointing performance of Solo: A Star Wars Story, which is having to fight to make much more than $350 million worldwide, sources tell The Hollywood Reporter. They haven't slowed down development, a source with knowledge of Lucasfilm's thinking has said, but they are licking their wounds, and they might want to add some hydrogen peroxide to that as well. It helps to get all the bacteria out. Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy and her team are regrouping and figuring out the direction of the movies beyond the final installment of the main series of films, Star Wars Episode 9, which is scheduled for release December 20th of 2019. It doesn't mean those spin-offs don't happen, says another insider of Solo's underperformance globally. It just means they're trying to figure out how to make and market them differently. I can tell you how. Listen a little more to your fans. Give us a little more of what we've been asking for, and take some of the social politics out of these movies that we don't want. In the case of the Boba Fett spin-off, the project is still being developed, sources tell The Hollywood Reporter, with Simon Kinberg and James Mangold writing the script, with the plan being for Mangold to direct. But there's a catch with Boba Fett. Sources say that after the underperformance of Solo, the project could now be reconfigured. The thinking is that if Han Solo, one of the most iconic characters in the Star Wars universe, couldn't sustain a big-budget origin feature, then any Fett movie would have to be scaled down, since though the character is popular, he's certainly less well-known to most moviegoers than the Corellian smuggler. And, this is something I talked about before. I think that making a movie centered around a character that we already know isn't always the best idea. We already identify with a certain character. We don't always need to know the whole backstory. I mean, with Boba Fett, we know his backstory already based on the Clone Wars series and Attack of the Clones. We kind of know where he comes from and how he got into the bounty hunter world. I think a more interesting story would be to have a bounty hunter tale or a underworld kind of movie where you could have a bunch of bounty hunters and have Boba Fett, interacting with them or weaving in and out of the story, but not to have him be the main focus of the movie. Have a bounty hunter movie, or a tale where several bounty hunters are after each other, or they're all fighting, to get one big bounty, or maybe Boba Fett maybe he's the hunted by, maybe Bosk is for some reason contracted to get Boba Fett, or to find him. And there's other stories they could tell that include Boba Fett but don't necessarily focus and center around him being the main character. So maybe that's now what they're thinking, which would be great. That is, I think, one way to go, which would be smart for them. The status of the Obi-Wan Kenobi spinoff is even less clear. Stephen Daldry had been in negotiations to direct both, but the studio and his agency, CAA, had no comment on the current state of the project. There had been rumors that Ewan McGregor, who played the younger Obi-Wan Kenobi in the first 3 episodes of the saga, would reprise his role for the spinoff. The actor was even present at the Solo premiere. But for his next gig, McGregor will shoot Warner Brothers' adaptation of Stephen King's Dr. Sleep, which is a sequel to The Shining, which goes into production later this year. So that'll tie him up for a while anyway. Meanwhile, a June 20th story by Collider kicked off an online frenzy for its claim that Star Wars spin-off movies were being put on hold, though the site noted the situation was fluid. And yeah, it has been a frenzy, and the situation has definitely been fluid. We've seen, over the last couple days, it was on again, off again. So right now, the development of Star Wars has gone underground. 2 official film projects remain, and that's the Benioff and Weiss projects, the Game of Thrones guys, and then, of course, Rian Johnson's trilogy, which I still don't think is a good idea. But it seems like they're still moving ahead with that. So, beyond Episode 9, though, no dates have been announced. So we still don't know what year, they're going to keep to December releases, or if they're going to try their hand at a May release again with some of these films. So that's the latest so far. This is the newest article coming out by Hollywood Reporter, and it's claiming that its sources that are either work for or very close to Lucasfilm have no intention of stopping or putting anything on hold. They've just decided to slow down a little bit and regroup and rethink how to market these movies and how to structure these movies, which is a good idea. It does kind of seem like that's putting them on hold, but I don't know how aggressively they were trying to make these or how fast they were trying to pump these out. Either way, it sounds like a good idea. Just regroup and rethink, maybe listen to the fans a little more, and understand kind of what we want and what we're looking for, and include us more in the marketing. So anyway, if you guys like the video, give it the old thumbs up and comment down below on what you guys think of the latest news here hitting the internet world and the interwebs, and subscribe to see more content. And until next time, lock the doors and hope they don't have blasters.